Hey, good evening, everybody out there in Unlock the Middle Land. We are inside the Red Zone, episode number 2. I'm Chris Starczewski, the principal at Dudley Middle School in Dudley, Massachusetts. Alongside me, I've got my great friend and co-host, co-creator of Unlock the Middle, Dean Packard at Charlton Middle School. Down on the bottom, we've got Josh Tovar, a regular staple, and we've got 3 tremendous guests this evening: Zac Bauermaster, Brian Callahan, and Brad Hughes. Let's kick it over to Dean. How are you doing this evening after running up and down the court?
Chris, I find it interesting. Even after school, you run just like you do when you're in school, especially if you have a life like we do. So, I had a game after school today. Got out there, got in my truck, got there, got out of there. Crowd was going crazy, ran back here just to be with you guys, because you know what? These type of forums are all about getting better together and talking about what we do each and every day as leaders to help our schools, to help our staff, and to help our learning communities become stronger. Great to see you. Glad everybody's here tonight. Hey, let's kick it down to everybody. We'll go around the table, just introduce ourselves. Zac, why don't you tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Yep, very good. Zac Bauermaster, proud principal at Kissel Hill Elementary School in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. So I don't know if anyone's familiar at all with Lancaster County. Some people associate it with Amish country, but I'm glad to be here. I like the text thread that was going. I know there was some basketball talk, there was some dad duty, there was taking kids to dance class, so it sounded right up my alley. But I'm really excited to be here and learn and grow with you. I have my pen and my notepad.
I love it. Welcome awesome. Aboard. Welcome to the table. Good stuff. Good stuff. Brian Callahan from the great state of Massachusetts, from the mighty Westboro High School. How are you, brother?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me as well. And I just want to start off by saying I'm proud and privileged to be here with, as a high school administrator among incredible administrators that do the hard work before they get to my level, all of you. And I just want to acknowledge that, many high schools and communities, get a lot of attention because kids are, at that formative age and driving and participating in varsity sports and going off to college or life beyond their schools. But the hard work is done K through 8. And I just want to say I'm proud to be here. Westboro High School, home of the Rangers, and I've been there for about 21 years. Not all as principal, but all as an administrator. And looking forward to tonight's Red Zone talk. I've come prepared.
Brian, you're being very humble tonight. I like the football, though. You're a rock star in what you do out at your school, and I know that I can speak firsthand about that. Hey, let's go up to Canada, where it's balmy warm right now. Brad, welcome to the table.
Dean, thank you, and great to be with all of you tonight. Brad Hughes, elementary school principal in Ontario, Canada, proud principal of Forest Hill Public School in Kitchener, Ontario, about an hour west of the city of Toronto. My 28th year of education, 10th year as a school leader, loving every minute of it and learning just like you, learning together, growing together with my school community, and living my passion, connecting with kids and serving and loving the adults that serve them. So great to be with you tonight, and I can bring you the perspective from the Great White North to our Red Zone tonight.
Love it. Great stuff. Principal Tovar, last but not least.
Josh Tovar, proud principal of Garland, USA, MPA, here with everybody ready to rock and roll. You know what? It's Thursday. Everything's heavy on our shoulders, so that's a great thing. So if you're coming from any part of the country, let us know where you're coming from, and please interact with us. Because remember, sharing of all these ideas will only get us stronger together. So share it, like it, and also talk to us. Let's learn from each other. Let's go, Dean.
All right. Well, hey, let's kick this around a little bit. You know what? We're all going through crazy times in our school right now as we're trying to develop our staff, and we're trying to help our students reach their maximum gains within school. There's no doubt about it. So let's just throw a topic out in the air today, and let's just who wants to go first? Somebody shoot one out there that you want to go with. So feel free.
Hey, you know what? I was thinking about it as the thread was coming around, and we're all really, really stretched, and we're all very involved and invested in our school community. We've got families, we've got other stuff going on. Let's talk a little bit about the self-care. That was a big topic in our Dudley Charlton Regional School District's PD yesterday. Self-care with educators. How's everybody taking care of everything, managing everything, keeping the sanity, but also keeping the pace up?
Hey, Chris, for me, it's all about staying connected with the people and the places and the projects and the things that bring me joy. And then as a school leader, it's about empowering the people that I serve to do just the same thing, so that they come to school as refreshed as they can, whether it's after a weekend or after an evening at home, ready to give their best, and to, they've got some energy restored to give it back to the kids in the community as well. So self-care is huge. And what I'm trying to do is make an intentional shift between a focus on self-care that is, okay, hey, educator, you look after yourself, to community care. Do I, as a school leader, make it possible in my school community for that care to be shared and distributed, and each person takes responsibility for themselves, but also embraces the care of others in the meantime. So self-care is about pouring back into yourself so that you can pour energy and love and serve others.
I'll go ahead and build off that. I love that. Recently at a faculty meeting to start the second half of the year, we were looking at focus points, and our first two were take care of ourselves and take care of each other. And we talked about loving kids, control the controllables, pursue excellence, not perfection, because in a time right now, there's a lot of gray areas, and we like to try to be perfect, and then just sort of reshaping our thinking and having fun while we're doing it. So really trying to establish that type of culture myself and within the building as well, because I know self-care is so good, like working out, eating right. That's all really, really good for me, spending time with family. But I also think self-care is how we're spending our time on. So it's not just that vicious cycle of we're beating ourselves up Monday through Friday, trying to recover, and then just to do it again. So really establishing that pace throughout the week for everyone in the building.
Brian.
Yeah, I think we have to practice what we preach, right? We've taken on so much as administrators of our building, our families, our students, and our staff more than ever. And through listening and empathy, we've certainly supported them throughout all of these challenges. So I think we have to practice what we preach, and as Brad and Zac both sort of alluded to, we can't do this job if we're not taking care of ourselves first, right? So if we need and want to take care of our constituents and our stakeholders, it starts with us being fresh and ready to go, clear of thought, good planning, refreshed, and still trying to find as much as possible love in the work, passion in that work.
Josh.
For me, I just think that it's crucial that I maintain my thought process of going to the gym, because there's so much noise out there, and I know I start thinking about it, and I want to make sure that I have a clean mind, and I make it a point to make sure that I'm there 5 times per week to let it out early in the morning. So whatever garbage is in my head, whatever minutia nonsense that happened early in the morning, I get rid of it, whether on the treadmill, whether lifting iron. I just get rid of it to make sure that I'm ready to give my best the second that I walk into the building, because our family needs to have the best version of ourselves that moment, because it's our job to make sure that we guide the culture and the climate of each school, and we can't have it if we're not prepared. And for me, most importantly, the second part is to make sure that I'm with my kids, especially my 2-year-old, and I look at his eyes, his unadulterated eyes of true love and spirit. And when I look at my 2-year-old, that gives me that extra ganas. Because when I look at a 2-year-old, he has not been corroded by the noise. Yeah. And it brings me life and spirit. A 2-year-old inspires me every day, because that little smile, it's legit. And I think about that little smile every day when I go into that building to make sure that I give that smile to my children there at work.
I'm glad you said that. And I'm thinking about that for a second. Culture and climate is the most important thing in any building, because you're not going to grow if it's not a really strong, positive side on both of them. So what are some of the things you guys are doing to ensure that you're keeping the culture and climate alive in your schools? We want to celebrate. We want to get out in front. We want to make sure that we're leading by example. But you know what? Every administrator has their own little thing. I can tell you right now, I follow Josh Tovar on social media. The guy's got an issue. He's got to go to therapy because he's tweeting out every second of the day all the great things that's going on, man. And I say that with love. I just can't keep up with it, Josh. Nope. But like in your buildings, what are you doing? How are you recognizing? How are you keeping everything really smooth and on the up and up? Let's go down to Brad to start off.
Dean, I'm always looking to find the fun. I'm always looking to connect with kids. That's the sunshine in my day. And if I'm trying to model the way forward, as school leader, it's connecting with the kids and seeing the joy in every moment, whether it's a terrible principal joke or commenting on a kid's new haircut or new shoes, or, one of the things I go to is I tell kids, you're looking great today. How are you feeling? And we just engage in conversation in the hall. And I hope that sets the example for the educators I work with, that every kid is our kid, not just a kid in your class, not just a kid in your office if you're the principal, but every kid is our kid, and looking to find the fun and that connection. And like Josh is expressing appreciation each and every day. I'm on the morning announcements, and this morning I said, I am so proud to be your principal. And the reason is each and every one of you, your kindness, your patience, your energy, your excitement, your learning. And let's face it, our kids and educators are pulling out all the stops to come to school and to live and learn in a pandemic. And, just expressing a moment of gratitude as the principal, again, that gives my educators permission to do exactly the same thing. You hear what Mr. Hughes said? I'm just as proud of you. And it gives students permission to do the same thing too. You hear what Mr. Hughes said? I'm proud of you. You're making my life a little bit better because you came to school today. So for me, it's connecting with kids, connecting with the adults that serve them, and expressing gratitude every chance I get, Dean.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, one of the things I just want to share this very quick. It's a great story. We had a child that was transferred into our school from another school. He had a discipline sheet, rap sheet, as long as you could think. And I said, coming in, I want to meet you. I want to meet your parents, your grandparents. I met all the family. He came in. He's been with us for a month. And he sat in my office today. He came to me yesterday and said, can I have lunch with you? I said, absolutely. Come on. So he came down to see me today. And I said, how you doing? He goes, I've got like an A in this class, a B in this class. I've got friends here. And I said, well, what's the difference? He goes, people care about me. People ask about it. I said, are you kidding with me? That is it. That is the secret formula, the secret sauce to education. Okay. We can't turn our backs on any kids anytime. So I say to myself, culture, climate, I give that to the teachers who made him feel welcomed. I give that to the people, the cafeteria staff, the custodians who say hi to him and give him value. And if you do that, great things happen. So bang, kick it over to somebody else. I'm going to step off for a second. Let's go to Brian.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Caring and being with the people that make the building run. The kids, the staff, teachers in the classrooms, in the cafeteria, the hallways. Trying to make things as normal as possible and as human as possible, and participating in those things. Blew out a pair of shoes last week playing floor hockey in a PE class. Got so into it that, just ripped a pair of shoes. The kids were all like, oh, my God, what's going to happen? And I took the shoes off and played in my socks because the game wasn't over. So, just being present. I was with a science teacher today, and, kids were taking a quiz on different muscle and joints and things like that. And, just trying to be there with them and saying it's okay. These challenges are tough. We're all experiencing them, but it's okay. Let's stay focused on the things that we care most about, which is our learning, our teachers, and our kids.
Yeah. Love it. Zach?
Yeah. Awesome stuff. I'll build on some of the things that were said. First, the fun piece. I got a foot surgery. I got foot surgery last week, so I'm on a scooter right now. So talk about fun around a school building. So I'm flying. I got called to a student that eloped. I was there in a second. I raced the class in gym with one foot on the scooter. It was just a lot of fun. But I think overall, it's been mentioned a couple of times, just being with the people. At the beginning of the year, we established something called Smile Cards, where at the beginning of the year, the staff on one side, it said smile, and they wrote all the different things that they really lean into that make them smile, because we knew we would face some challenges this year. And on the other side, we took some time and we went around, and staff went around and signed the back of them a note of encouragement. And then throughout the week, we submit smile cards where we look for the little moments that are occurring throughout the day, recognizing each staff member. It's been awesome to see. So I've been real big into the little moments that you see. For example, today, I posted on my Twitter page today, but today, there was a student struggling, and our custodian helped escort him to where he needed to be, just holding hands in the class. And that stuff gets me so fired up. Our security officer, one day I got a picture of him down on his knees tying a shoe for a little second grader. I'm just looking and holding on to those little moments that are occurring all throughout the day. And I know in the principal role, it's easy to get bogged down by that inbox, phone calls. I'm not going to say any of those COVID words, but where all that pulls us. And so I try to do those little moment walks, like, hey, I just need to step away. Let's go walk around. Let's be with those people, the staff members, the teachers, and the kids. And that's just really that culture and climate piece.
It's awesome. One of the things I think about, and I love the smile card idea. I love focusing on those little moments. I think one of the most important things we can do is not maintain a focus on, the standardized test prep and the pressures, of those third parties, that are really pushing our educators to focus on those pieces. What I hope to focus on much more of, and I think I do a relatively good job of, is finding a way to yes. And the yes to help the teacher pursue their passion, identify an idea that works for them. If they're doing a novel study with their colleagues at the grade level and they have an idea to go in a different direction, it's going to get the same learning goals attained. Let's go ahead and let you follow your passion. I'll find a way to get you the resources that you need in order to make something happen. When they get impassioned about it, guess what happens to the learning? That kicks up to the next level. The kids get excited, the teacher's excited, and we keep going. All beyond the other elements that y'all mentioned. But I think that we're all on point, here in terms of honoring those little things and acknowledging that everybody's under that the microscope. We're actually under more like a magnifying glass in the hot sun in the summer.
I'm still in the little moments. I love that. That's going to be the topic of my next newsletter that I put out, the little moments. Enjoy them. Thanks, Zach. I'll add that one to my repertoire. Josh, what about you, bro?
Well, we need, even before this nonsense, just like Todd Whitaker says, before the pandemic, things were hard. They were tolerable at best with all the noise. And now with this, it just made it a new level. And so I've always believed that we establish patterns of behavior for success, and it's all about the small things. Okay, because Teacher Appreciation Week, that's one and done. But it's what do you do always to celebrate the little things? And I guess you just see what I do at our home with rituals and routines. Every Monday we do something, every Wednesday we do something, every Thursday we do something, every Friday we do something. On the weekend, I write all those thank you cards. And you know what? It really has helped because our discipline has been in check. We haven't had what high school kids would be doing. And I'm going to be posting on social media what a young lady just wrote me a card. And I started crying. But you see, that just validates. It validates when we reach out and we establish the appropriate culture in our homes, our schools, that everyone will buy in if we are the role models of that. We need to be the consistent role models of establishing a positive culture for kids' success. And for me, it's just putting in the time. And once you put in the time with those positive things, you won't have to spend double the time with the negativity. And you know what? The negativity sucks, guys. You know that. Dealing with a fight is going to deal 2 hours of your life, 3 hours of your life. With a social media nonsense that one kid might put about another one, it's going to take your whole darn day. But if you establish the positive climate of helping each other, I'd rather give up 2 or 3 hours in the weekend and avoid all that nonsense. So it's just those patterns of behaviors of the rituals and routines that you establish sitting in your chair.
You're planting seeds. Now, let's take it one step farther. Let's talk about value. How are you finding value in your kids? How are you finding value in your staff? How are you building their value and helping build their own capacity to continue on? So, Chris, why don't you start off with that one?
Yeah, I think beyond the academic value, we always celebrate the high achieving academics. We're really good at acknowledging honor roll and grades. And I don't know if you guys know, but I'm not a big proponent of traditional grading systems or standardized testing. So I think it's really important for us to be able to honor the talents and experiences that kids have. And one of the introductions that we had to our school this year, and Dean, you've got it over at CMS, the character trait of the month that our school adjustment counselors kind of led the charge with. But we've done is really kind of created a recognition system based off of those character traits where teachers and students will nominate other students and educators in the building, who exemplify that trait. And we had some students last month who may someday be academic students of the month. They may someday be honor roll students. They may someday be stars on the sports field, but they were acknowledged for having courage. They were acknowledged this month for having a high level of resiliency and overcoming adversity. And in order to acknowledge kids with those character traits, you've got to get to know them at a deep level. And the teachers in the building, are able to do that because they care about kids, they care about one another, they care about the machine of the building, and they really do acknowledge and honor individuals for who they are and what they bring to the table beyond the pencil and paper assessments and the grades. And I think we can do nothing less than continue to build off of that to really, promote those individual abilities and talents. And, someday that's going to be looked back upon as maybe a transformative experience in the lives of the kids who have a real significant challenge in front of them.
Brian.
Yeah, I think we have to provide an opportunity for for staff to initiate that engagement and not wait for it. Give them permission, give them opportunities, because what you see is when you see that engagement, you start seeing that value grow inside of a student and inside that classroom, and it begins to spread throughout the entire building. And as someone said earlier, it just kind of flourishes, from there. So teachers gotta feel empowered to provide those opportunities. And then you gotta listen. Listen to the kids, and, you gotta hear their voice, and you've got to ask them what questions, not why questions. And you got to get them to articulate and think through things about life, things about the content that they're studying, and develop their skills so that, those moments of praising and acknowledging, obviously that helps, engage, right? That helps it. That's part of that initiative process. But there's nothing more powerful in a school than seeing that, that learning take place from within, and that growth happen because a student is motivated on their own and not enticed in, some other way. So that just got to empower teachers to, really give kids those opportunities and listen.
Great. The best administrators I know are great listeners. They listen more, talk less, but plant seeds to help people grow. Love that. Brad.
Yeah, I'm going to pick up and talk a little bit more about planting the seeds and planting the seeds with kids, that they can be agents of growing that welcoming community. I mean, I often say to our school community, you want to make sure that everybody coming in feels excited, even for a small reason, to be there, wants to be there, and leaves feeling glad they came. Again, even if it's for a small reason. And one focal point for that has really been how we welcome our guest teachers. We call them guest teachers. You might know them as substitute teachers. And we all know that substitute teachers, guest teachers are crucial to the effective working of an elementary or secondary school. And what we try to do is to promote the agency of the students to make that difference. Okay, we treat guest teachers like guests in our school. So students will hear that from me on the announcements as I welcome guest teachers. Kids, you've got the opportunity to make these teachers' day. We want them to enjoy their day. We want them to look forward to coming back to seeing you, because it's all about developing those relationships. And so I'm able to bring out some agency on the part of the students, and I'm able to check in and say, hey, were you treated as a guest today by these kids? And then I can praise up the kids, and then I can praise them up to their teacher when they return the next day. So it results in a really great synergy of a welcoming environment where kids are agents of making the day, making the day for the staff members, not just the staff members making the day for the kids. And so, recognizing that the gifts are in the building if you choose to just to name what you want to see. And kids can hit any learning target you set for them as long as they can see it and they've got a path to it. And that goes with their ability to be agents in a positive school culture as well.
Great points. Zach.
Yeah, very good. I love that. The gifts are in the building. And to Brian's point, that listening piece, listen. I know we recently had a comprehensive planning meeting where we invited various stakeholders to just to review the building, look at data, just look at the overall school and how it's doing. And I didn't think of it at first, but a few days before, I decided to invite 3 students to the meeting. And they were the game changers in the meeting. Just how important that student voice is. It was incredible. They really were able to take the lead, and parents, teachers, staff were all able to really hear those students and hear their voices. And I think that was very powerful with the value that they added to all of us. Another example I have, and this was, sometimes as a principal, you're going through and you're like, I don't know how I'm doing. I just don't know how I'm doing. I don't know how it's going. A teacher emailed me and they said that their husband noticed this year that the teacher's going to bed earlier, doing less work in the evening, and is overall just more optimistic and positive. And right there, I was like, that got me very excited, because that's sort of, I want to add value to those teachers where they're feeling refreshed, where they can come in every day and give it their best and really add value to the kids. That, I think that's been a common theme here tonight. And just, I see it as that domino effect. Taking care of the staff takes care of those kids, add value to everyone.
We call it the fill the gas tank. Make sure that you come in with a full gas tank ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
Josh.
This whole added value to every student, every team member is crucial. Well, I tell our team whenever we get together after school during PD sessions, part of my diatribe that I always say is this: look, my job is to make sure that when you put your key in your ignition and you turn it on and you're driving to school, that you don't say, "Ugh, I gotta go to school." I want to create an environment where you feel comfortable, as it was stated right now. I want you to feel that when you put that key in the ignition, you're happy to come to work. And I want you to have that same feeling when those kids, and myself as someone that sits in my chair, that those parents say, "Hey, I would like to have an administrator like that when I was a student." But I also want you guys as team members to say, would I want to stick my personal children in my classroom? It's the same thing, because if we all have that same mentality, that we bring value to all, even our students that give us the hardest time sometimes. So once we win those kids over, how do we feel? You're like, wow. You remember it was rough at the beginning, but now, puro amor del corazón, puro amor. And the thing is, that's when you win those major battles. And that's when you know you brought added value. I always keep that in the back of my mind as I'm driving to work. How was my day yesterday? How was my day the previous day? Are those people putting in their keys in their ignition? And do they feel comfortable coming to Memorial Pathway Academy in Garland, USA? Do they feel comfortable? And that's one of those things that we need to keep on doing based on our earlier comment, which is climate and culture, which is all established by our chair.
Again, thank you. Great point. I'm just thinking about, if you could think of something in your building that you really are proud of and something that you would really like to just recognize right now, and it's kind of a question off the cuff. I mean, we all have them. There are certain things in our buildings that just ignite us each and every day. But and I'm going to start, and I'm going to say in my building, the commitment from the people in the building to make the day better for kids is just off the charts. And I get it. We deal with human nature, and that means that some days you're not going to be on your game all the time. But the one constant you can always do, let me just turn that thing. The one constant you can always do is ensure that you are ready and to meet every kid when they walk into that doorway. And I have to give a quick shout out to all my staff for doing that. Not only my teachers, but also my bus drivers. And I'm talking about my cafeteria workers. I'm talking custodians, as you said earlier. It takes a village to make a school a special place. So that's something that I'm really proud of. Let's kick it over to Zach.
Yeah, I'll echo that. I was thinking about it today. The support staff is such a huge part of our building. And there's been teacher absences, but there's been absences across the board. And it shouldn't take until those people are out to realize just what a vital piece they are to that school puzzle. But our support staff just plays a crucial role for just some of those positions that aren't those behind the scenes positions that they're doing every single day, whether that's supporting the cafeteria, whether that's supporting a kid. But that's an overall. So same thing with the teachers, but one that really stood out as you were talking there was just really proud of the support staff and what they bring to the kids in the school each and every day.
Brian.
Yeah, just trying to find any opportunity when talking with kids or teachers about the purpose of why we're here. And for us in our school, and I tweeted it out. I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but we're guided by the Trinity of teaching and learning, and that pyramid, that Trinity, the basis of it is passion. The teachers come with a pre-existing relationship about the passion for doing this work, content, skill, or working with kids, and that passion has to drive all of what we do, because when we start connecting with kids, we can get kids to start connecting with that passion themselves, or that skill that's so important for them when they leave us and leave our districts to go on and be productive citizens. So we come right back to the why, come right back to the purpose of what got us into this job. And we tap into that flame to make sure that it doesn't, go out or, more importantly, that we could pour a little bit of your gas on it, Dean, and fire things up.
That's what leaders do. Brad?
Tremendously proud, like all you gentlemen, of the incredible things happening in our schools. In my school, we had an employee of 9 years leave our school recently for great new opportunities out of our district. And in her sort of farewell email, she remarked that, our school, Forest Hill, has the capacity to make the extraordinary seem ordinary, because the extraordinary things happening each and every day can tend to be normalized. But, let's face it, when you're able to attract and retain people who show up day after day to give their best for kids, not just within the building, but to leverage the supports and the information and the resources in the community to make life better for not only the kids, but their families. And Zach, you talked about, what a testament to your influence with staff to say that family members of your staff would notice a difference in their loved ones. I mean, we're all connected. We're all networked through our families, through our faith communities, through our community resources. So tremendously proud of my staff at Forest Hill, making the extraordinary seem ordinary. It's just an everyday expectation, an everyday challenge to ourselves to improve the lives of kids. And what I've learned as a principal in 7 years in my building is that those relationships that Josh was talking about, sometimes it's a long game. It's going to be a long payoff, a number of years of hanging in there with kids and hanging in there with families, encountering difficult circumstances, pouring empathy and understanding, seeking to understand their difficulties rather than pass judgment on what they should or shouldn't be doing. But all that to say, there are incredible magical moments daily. And then if you're able to take a step back and you've got some perspective, you realize that the long investment, the long game really pays dividends for your kids and families.
Never give up. Never, ever, ever give up. Not yet. I love those types of phrases. So good stuff. Josh?
Just twofold. Obviously, our team members are something else right now. The adversity that they're fighting through this nonsense for the last 2 years. And I'm going to give you two specific examples. Our campus is devised of two major programs. And today we just had a teen parent graduate with her baby, with her high school diploma. And those teachers in that part of our building just motivated her. She could have tapped out like a lot of teen parents sometimes do, and then they take time, but she finished quickly. And then we also had brand new kids come in from Afghanistan on our other program. And when they arrived, you should have seen their face. Just imagine a child from Afghanistan ripped away from his country, his parents, whatever adversity, to end up in northern Dallas. And they were now they walk around with smiles. We still can't communicate effectively. That Farsi is not easy, all right? But we're trying to, and now they walk around with a huge smile. That's what I'm talking about. And that's when you know you've established something beautiful. Those team members with those kids. And it goes the line. Kids don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And we've established that bond with them. And I would be remiss if I don't mention my bosses. You know what? My bosses have allowed me to ensure that climate and culture is established. Ray Merrill, Dr. Susan Russell, our superintendent, Rick Lopez, they have been nonstop supporters of all the 70 plus campuses in our district. And whatever noise comes out on social media, they've done a great job. You know what? They deserve kudos too. Because you know what? If we get noise, imagine what they get. I can't imagine what they get at the different level of political. So shout out to our team members and most importantly to my bosses. Great job, guys.
Chris?
Josh, if I could add real quick, that smile is a universal sign for.
Thank you. I was going to say that.
You don't
have to know the language to know what a smile is.
Just fine in my book. Good for you. That's great.
It's awesome stuff. Just listening to all the great accolades and shout outs to the buildings, obviously, the staff and the faculty are the lifeblood of the school outside of the kids. But, we've got two words on the outside of the building, outside the principal's office. It predates me. It's original to the school, but those two words are students first. And I think the faculty and staff at Dudley Middle School really do embrace that. To to great ends. But in particular, the staff this year that's really rising up beyond the classroom teachers and the instructional support staff is really that student support team. The guidance counselors, the school adjustment counselor, the school psychologist, the school nurse, assistant principal, all who work together to understand the stories of the families, understand the stories of the kids who are struggling, understanding how to build a bridge from the distracted world into the classroom, help the teachers have the resources necessary to be able to reach that most challenging child. And they have a great system in place. They've got a great communication, but most importantly, they've got great collaboration. And it's always about that students first mentality and how they can be engaged in the classroom. Brilliant connection with the families in the community. We've got some great benefactors who help support anonymously families who are in need. Members of the student support team reach out to those anonymous benefactors and receive funds. We go out, get gift cards for families, bring them into the down to the store, make sure that we've got those types of elements. We've got the health educator who drives the students to the nth degree and thinking about other people. I'll mention her by name. It's Claudette Eagleton. We've got this program called the Titan Trade-ins, where it's a clothing swap for students run by students. The kid spills chocolate milk on their shirt at lunch. They got two options: deal with the chocolate milk on the shirt, go to the Titan Trade-ins and swap out their shirt if they want, or find a shirt that they like and take it home, and really keep it. Just feel loved, feel cared for, know that we've got their back all the time. We could keep going on and on. Bus drivers, cafeteria staff, like everybody else, custodians. But I'm exceptionally proud and honored of the efforts of that student support team to really provide balance into the world right now.
So whatever it takes, it's what good leaders do. And I say that all the time. There's no, I can't. We don't believe in that stuff, because I can't doesn't exist if you're going to grow as a person and as an organization. All right, we're in the red zone right now. You got 35 seconds. Here goes the question right now. What are you going to say to a new leader who's just taken on the post of being a leader in their school? How are you going to build them up? What kind of advice would you give to them? And I'm going to start this off with Brian. Brian, go for it. In the red zone, baby. Put that football up. Boom, there it is. Put the helmet on.
Hey, there it is. All right. You're going to have to bring a hard hat with you. But you know what? Make it human. Take it off. Be ready to go. And just keep working hard. Work hard for your kids. Work hard for your staff. Good listening. And bring value, but follow your values. I'm a big proponent of moral leadership. And I think, we need to get a little bit more back to that when we come out of COVID. But let's get going.
Love it. Zach.
I think of I go back to the line, it's all about people. That's what I would say. It's all about people getting to genuinely know their stories and walk alongside them with teachers, with staff, with family members, the community and kids. It's all about people. I know there's days that you might complete your to-do list and you don't see people. I don't feel good going home those days. But those days I'm out and I'm with people and I didn't get done what I wanted to get done, I feel pretty good leaving that day. So it's all about people.
Crank up that scooter and get out and go, baby. I love it. Good stuff. Brad.
Like Zach and Brian, relationships first. Relationships as the foundation of everything good that we can accomplish as school leaders on behalf of our community, everything good that we can grow within our community. And I'd say to new school leaders, kindness to others, but importantly, kindness to yourself. Monitor your self-talk really carefully. Are you talking to yourself like you talk to a loved one or a best bud? If not, you got to monitor and interrupt that self-talk, because you're going to mess up. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have disappointments. You're going at this for the first time, but you're not alone. Monitor that self-talk and reach out for help. Let others know what setbacks you're experiencing, and let others rally and leverage their expertise to help you become a better leader.
Josh.
Hey, leader, you chose leadership, and it's okay. Remember, inspire everybody with actions. And most importantly, don't ever forget and embrace that you're in the best profession out there, the profession that creates all the other professions. And you're always going to have those beautiful little eyes looking at you and saying, thank you for inspiring me.
And I'm going to say, find a way. Just find a way. And I mean that. And as you got to think about that statement for a second, every child is looking for a champion. Every teacher is looking for someone to lead them. Every leader is looking for someone to empower them. If we all do those little things and just step back and just be real, be authentic, and just enjoy the ride, but be true to yourself, you'll be absolutely fine. Chris?
Yeah, the only thing I could really add at this point is, seek first to understand whatever avenue you're taking into the environment. If you're a long-standing in the district or in that school, you still have a different lens as a leader. Stand on that balcony, watch the dance floor, understand the players, understand who knows how to do the two-step, understand who just likes to stand in the corner and watch. But find out what their strengths are, and just like a good coach does,
that's it.
Allow the team to play to the strength of the individual, and the individual will allow the team to gain strength. And you're on the right track if you're acknowledging all the pieces that you heard prior to me.
Yeah. I mean, it's not hard. Sometimes human beings make it difficult, break it down to something simple and break it down to something that's meaningful for everybody. That's good stuff. Hey, representatives from Pennsylvania, from Canada, from Massachusetts and Texas tonight. This is what we do. This is why we do it. We come together to discuss these things. You know what? Because not all of us we don't have all the answers, but together we can collectively make a bigger difference for everybody around us. So listen, guys, we really thank you for being with us tonight. And it's always fun to be able to make new connections and build a PLN that just has true meaning and dedication to kids. And again, that's why we started Unlock the Middle. So anybody else got anything they want to say?
Inspired, fired up, and excited to be here, and look forward to further connections with all of you and with anybody listening and watching. Thank you.
Good
and
stuff.
follow Brad's podcast. It is fabulous. It is my Saturday addiction. Follow his podcast.
All right.
So grateful.
Give that a shout out, Brad. What is it? Tell us a little bit about it.
It's the Good News, Brad News podcast, amplifying the great work of heart-led educators, great people just like you, making a difference for kids each and every day, and finding the fun. So Josh, it has been a tremendous support, and he fires me up. He makes me want to be a better podcaster and a better leader. So I'm grateful to have him listening, and I'd love it if you listen to Good News, Brad News.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, good news, Brad News. Well played. I like that. I just want to thank all of you for the encouragement. It is great to hear from all of you, hear different perspectives, and hear what you're doing. I'm definitely encouraged as I leave here this evening.
You're all going to be back, Brian.
Yeah, no, thanks very much for the opportunity. And I took some good notes here, and very privileged to hear from some dedicated folks like yourself. So thank you very much. I'm better now as a person.
Well, thank you again. Takes a little bit of effort. Chris, bring us home.
Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. Zach, Brian, Brad, Josh, of course, Dean. Like Dean said, we can't go at this alone. We definitely don't have all the answers, but we certainly can work together to try and find them. And, the real purpose behind starting Unlock the Middle was really to, do something fun during the pandemic back when we began this thing.
We didn't know about the pandemic when it first started. We were actually cruising.
Yeah, but as we sit down and think about the purpose, tonight's a great example of connecting and collaborating, sharing some stories, and really getting some original thought to get moving, to help solve some problems we don't even know we might have down the road. But everybody, it's getting late. It's about 10 o'clock here on the East Coast, and we're going to be going to bed to wake up to 4-degree temperatures and a massive snowstorm coming our way in New England over the weekend. Sorry, Josh.
Stop our Sunday night show. We're going to be on Sunday night. We're on Sunday night. We got to make sure
we are on Sunday night.
All right. We have to talk about that. All right. Good stuff. All right,
everybody. Well, hey, be well. Keep on chugging. Zach, Brian, Brad, Josh, Dean, hang on just a second. We're going to go off live and we'll chit chat to wrap up our night. Be well, everybody.